Coming up next on this edition of In the City, Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department is always striving to keep the residents of Murfreesboro safe. Firefighters now have more training that could save even more lives. Plus, students from China recently stopped by Overall Creek Elementary School through a program offered by MTSU. Also, one young Murfreesboro resident is trying to make life easier for less fortunate families. We'll tell you how. And Governor Bill Haslam stopped by Patterson Park Community Center to share some big news for the city of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up right now on this edition of In the City. Welcome to another edition of In the City, your source for what's happening right here in the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Cecilia Herrell. Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department is now equipped with advanced life support capabilities. This will help MFRD staff better serve our community and has the potential to save even more lives in an emergency.
For nearly 14 years, the Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department has responded as emergency first responders to medical calls along with Rutherford County EMS. MFRD most often arrives on the scene of an incident within 5 minutes or less because of the 10 stations throughout Murfreesboro to begin life-saving treatment. In 2014, MFRD upgraded their emergency response to basic life support. In October of 2016, it was upgraded to advanced EMT response. And on June 30th, 2017, MFRD began responding to medical calls with advanced life support capabilities. ALS is a set of life-saving protocols to further support the circulation and provide an open airway and adequate ventilation. The advanced life support has been staffed and supplied to 4 of the city's busiest stations: Vine Street, Mercury Boulevard, East Northfield Boulevard, and Cason Lane. These stations respond to approximately 75% of all medical-related calls in Murfreesboro.
We now know that we can possibly have a paramedic on the scene to begin this life-saving treatment, and maybe the ambulance is going to come at the same time, but maybe it's going to be several minutes, and every minute that we have is really critical. Now, all of our personnel here are firefighters, and it's mandatory to have some type of medical training. Out of 196 emergency responding personnel, 126 are either advanced EMT or paramedic level. Our future is to expand this program. We have partnered with Motlow State Community College. We have had our first in-house EMT program. Those 23 that completed that program will complete a national registry, and they'll go to advanced EMT in the fall.
Well, Murfreesboro Fire Department and ourselves, we joined together about a year and a half ago to work together to do continuing education, as well as work on the process of training all of the additional firefighters with the ability to do EMT and AEMT. It's a wonderful partnership. It's 2 great organizations that's able to have common needs and common goals, and we've been able to come together to be able to create high-tech and high-fidelity training for the students, as well as preparing them to treat real patients out in the community. The Murfreesboro citizens are very lucky to have a fire department that's this quality, that's wanting to expand their services, and that is not afraid to train. And these guys are ready. These are some of our favorite students to teach because they're eager. They want to come in and learn.
In addition to advanced skills training, MFRD has also enhanced its equipment cache. Captain Oliver shows us some of the new life-saving equipment.
What we got here is this is our drug kit for our cardiac emergencies. We're able to treat different arrhythmias now with our epinephrine or cardiac arrest, atropine for a bradycardia. We've always carried D50 even in our BLS program, but now we're able to carry D25 for our pediatric patients. Of course, we carry the aspirin for our MI, heart attacks. We've carried Narcan for our overdoses. This is our new portable suction unit now that we're carrying into our homes and on an MVA or anything we have to do to clear an airway. This is what we carry now versus what we used to carry 2 months ago. We got our new airway. We've got our laryngoscopes that we use and our ET tubes here. We can provide a more definitive airway for our patients in a respiratory arrest. We've got our new cardiac monitors that we're carrying versus our AEDs that we used to carry that were automated external defibrillator. It does the work for you. This is what you see in like your gyms and stuff like that. Where our new cardiac monitor, our paramedics can actually interpret the rhythm they see and treat the rhythm that the person's in.
In 2016, MFRD responded to approximately 12,000 emergency responses, with 9,700 of them, or 80%, being medical in nature.
We are so proud to be able to respond to patients and actually treat them with the training that we have had and now with the equipment that we have on the apparatus. And I think the residents and the citizens and the visitors that come to Murfreesboro can expect a very professional service.
Students from China recently partnered with MTSU to visit Overall Creek Elementary School. The students were excited to see all the technology and opportunities Murfreesboro City Schools has to offer.
Middle Tennessee State University played host to school children, teachers, and administrators from China's Dongcheng Educational Group. This group oversees a network of magnet-style schools in Hangzhou, China. It's the third time MTSU has hosted this week-long visit from China. The group also visited in 2013 and 2015. One of the stops for the students was Murfreesboro City School Overall Creek Elementary. MTSU's First Lady explains why it's important to visit a Murfreesboro City school.
Murfreesboro City School it's one of the top school systems, as you know. This is the second visit for the students to come to this particular location. They get to see some of the latest technology. It's been an excellent partnership. Right now, our Chinese students are in the library, and they get to do a virtual tour going to Nashville, going to Chattanooga. They'll be able to experience it firsthand on camera.
Overall Creek Elementary teacher Jessica Burns was excited to show off her school to the Chinese students.
I have toured lots of people around the school, and I've talked about what our school entails and all the things that we have here to offer, but I've never done it with students from outside of our country. So this has been a really fun experience getting to talk to them about that. The general is walking them around the school, letting them see all the different opportunities that we have as far as the arts and music, and then the different classrooms and our classroom sizes and what all those entail and can accommodate. And then it's always fun to get them to see the creek and our outdoors and all the things that we are just so blessed to be able to offer to the students that come here. I look at them as just the typical kids that I've encountered for the first time and that they've encountered me. And but definitely as our day has gone on, they've warmed up in a sense of with each other. Like I can tell if I've just said something, their eyes light up and they talk with each other about it. So that's been pretty neat to see.
Obviously, when you have a language barrier, you need interpreters. We spoke with a Chinese MTSU student that was there to bridge the language gap.
I hope that kids can learn from what is happening outside of China, their education system, so they can know more about things from their books. For United States school, probably the size of the classroom, just 20 or 30 students in one classroom, so the teacher can take care of them better. But in China, we have much bigger size, probably 70 to 80 students in one classroom. I want to say this is a very good chance for Chinese students and also for American students to know each other. The cultural communication is very good for them, to open their mind and eyes.
The Chinese students seemed very shy when asked if they had questions during the tour. Interpreter Qinguang Zhou explained.
The thing is, it's time to go to bed in China right now, so it's different time zone. Kind of sleepy right now.
Overall, Creek has just been outstanding, and the teachers have just been outstanding. So I can't say enough about this particular program and making sure that in 2019, our Chinese students are right back here because they've seen so much love.
One young boy named Charlie is changing lives for the better. Charlie helps less fortunate families in a very unique way.
Charlie Pirtle woke up one morning during his Christmas school break and thought, I have a lot of stuff, and some kids don't. I want to help. No, he's not your normal 8-year-old.
After we had opened presents and we were just hanging out together and playing with all the toys, he looked at us and said, I got a lot of stuff for Christmas. And you do. And he said, a lot of kids don't have what I have. And he was like, I want to help kids. He actually spent all of his Christmas money that he received from family on purchasing glasses for children in his school who couldn't afford to have their glasses fixed.
When I was reading a book, Jesus talked to me, how he told me to start helping other families, and it took me a whole day and a half a night, and then I decided it was God's word, so I decided to do it.
Knowing he would need money to help more families, he came up with the idea of making jewelry from used license plates. He gets a leather bracelet, cuts out logos and words from the plates, and rivets them to the bracelet. With help with his dad, of course. A friend agreed to sell them in her store, with 100% of the proceeds going to help Charlie's cause.
And so, absolutely, yes, it's just a wonderful cause, great for the community.
It was about 10:30 on a Saturday night. He was supposed to have been in bed a couple hours at that point, and he came into the bedroom and said, Mom, I want to put a building at the end of our driveway and put stuff in it that's free for people that can't afford things. And I was like, well, we can't put a building at the end of our driveway, baby, but we'll look into it. And he was like, God's telling me this. He just would not let it go. God's put this on my heart, Mom. And so the blessing bags just kind of developed from there.
Blessing bags consist of food and hygiene products. Through the Murfreesboro City Schools outreach program, Charlie has been hooked up with 50 families to provide them with these bags.
What we know is that if children are hungry or if children do not have the hygienic supplies that they need, that they're probably not going to be successful in school. And so it was really important for us when Charlie came to us and really said, we want to help you meet those needs, for us to say, absolutely.
We work together as finding the families to really benefit by getting those blessing bags. That really, they have been a tremendous blessing for our families.
We, teach in our kids' ministry to love Jesus and to love people. And Charlie Pirtle came to us and said he wants to love people. We've encouraged our kids and families every single Sunday to join Charlie and to bring donations and to help support what he has already started.
Charlie meets, along with all his helpers at his church, to assemble the blessing bags. It's a time-consuming process that takes a lot of teamwork. But Charlie has a favorite helper that's been with him every time.
Well, there is one person who keeps coming every single week to come help me. Well, instead of going home and watching TV, is my sister. She's been there every single week helping me.
The blessing bags are picked up by the Murfreesboro City Schools Chow Bus and taken to Bradley Elementary School for families to pick up. Charlie visited the Murfreesboro City School Board meeting where they were amazed with his ideas and drive to serve people.
It's a wonderful thing that you're doing, and it takes a little bit of initiative, I'm sure, on your part to make those things out of license plates.
Yes.
Thank you for what you're doing. There's a lot of people I know.
I'm just
can't even come up to match that what you're doing. So
yeah,
thank you.
A second grader.
Yeah.
I mean, there are agencies that don't do this much work this fast.
Man, I'm impressed. I'm blown away. I'm going to give you an applause all by myself.
Before school started, Charlie and his church hosted a back-to-school bash where 150 backpacks were donated, filled with school supplies. Charlie also got barbers to donate free back-to-school haircuts.
Well, the reason why I like it because it means helping others, and it makes me feel happy for helping others, and God told me to.
He's really set on opening like a food pantry or something. That's his dream, so I don't know if we'll be able to make that come true or not, but he's determined, so we'll see what happens. We'll see where this goes.
If you want to donate to Charlie's cause, you can go by Designs for You, located on the square, to purchase bracelets or other jewelry accessories. You can also drop off donations at River Oaks Community Church, Murfreesboro City School Administration Office, and Black Fox Elementary School. Governor Bill Haslam stopped by Patterson Park Community Center on July 21st, and he brought a very large check with him.
It's my pleasure to be able to introduce someone who truly understands the things that a growing municipality deals with. Being a former mayor, the governor understands a fast-growing city. Murfreesboro recently named the 13th fastest-growing city in the country, the fastest-growing city in the state of Tennessee. There are a lot of challenges that we deal with, and the governor has always been accessible to be able to let us share those things and be an advocate for the municipality. I consider him not only an advocate for this city, but a friend of Murfreesboro, and we thank you for being here.
Before we get into this, I do want to make a quick comment on Murfreesboro and Rutherford County for that matter. The growth is phenomenal, and I don't see that slowing down. I think people see this as a great place to live, and a great place to locate a business, and a great place to raise families. And like I said, I don't see that. So our challenge is to make certain that we continue to make it that way. And we love being your partners, both with Rutherford County and with Murfreesboro, and you continue to serve people well. So before I go into this, let me thank you for that. And again, I appreciate you hosting us today. So we're here today. Like Senator Tracy made this comment earlier. People always said, Haslam, people are always glad to see you. They just seem a little happier when you have a check with you. And this is one of those days when we have a check with us. And it's actually a really nice size check for the city of Murfreesboro in the amount of $1,027,178. This money is for what we call transportation alternative grants. This is money that comes out of a federal program called Transportation Alternative Grants, which are designed to do just what they sound like, provide alternatives to traditional transportation. We cannot use these funds on fixing our roads. So as much as we might like to take certain funds and add them to the issues we have around our roads and bridges, that's not what this is for. This is a program that Congress started years ago. The neat thing about it is this, and you wouldn't be surprised to hear mayors or state officials say this, they actually then leave it up to state officials to decide how that money is spent. So local governments make applications for this money, and believe me, we have way more applications than we have funds to meet them. For projects that are strategic in nature, then the state gets to make that decision, and then obviously we take input from people like Senator Tracy. But this $1 million plus grant will be for the Mercury Boulevard Sidewalk Project. It's a complete sidewalk linkage from Southeast Broad to Middle Tennessee Boulevard along Mercury Boulevard. All 7,200 feet of sidewalks will be ADA compliant and will include pedestrian crosswalks at the signalized intersections along Mercury. Crossing push-button pedestrian signal indicators will also enhance safety.
This is really a big deal for Murfreesboro and Rutherford County, particularly Murfreesboro, because the sidewalks are going to go right here in this neighborhood, which are desperately needed, I think, so people can use the sidewalks. It's a safety issue where they can come here to Patterson Park and other areas around this neighborhood. It's so important to do that.
Thanks, everybody. Congratulations.
It's August, which means summer break is coming to an end and school is about to be in full swing. We'll show you how Murfreesboro City Schools prepare for the new school year.
usually start right after the school year ends in May. Our mechanics start off by doing service inspections, we call those summer services, on every single bus. They check tires, we put new tires on at that time if we have to replace them. They check every engine compartment, every component of a bus to make sure that it is road ready before our state inspector comes to inspect them, usually the last week of July. Murfreesboro City School has allowed us to have bus assistance on every one of our buses. When I started here 15 years ago, it was only on special ed buses. As of about 4 years ago, our board members decided to let us have them on our general ed buses.
The first part of preparing for the upcoming school year are student rosters, really finding the most appropriate placement for students based on student needs and teacher strengths. The next thing you're doing is preparing in-service for your teachers. You're getting them ready for the upcoming school year. They're learning the grade level standards for the grade levels that they're possibly moving to, as well as planning throughout the summer. We do a lot over the summer to prepare for the upcoming school year. I think the week prior to school starting, teachers are preparing the learning environment. They're here getting their classrooms ready, the cafeteria, the library, the entire school. We're getting it clean and ready for learning.
Teachers came back a week early in order to prepare some things. And one of the things we did, we had a learning extravaganza, and that was 2 days of teachers training teachers. New techniques, new ideas, new strategies, things that will help them have a really successful year.
It'd be really beneficial for parents, as far as what parents can do to have students ready for the upcoming school year, is just motivating those students, inspiring them, building that love for learning and that excitement to come back to school. We want them to be excited about coming back to scales and to school and to meet their upcoming teacher and take on the challenges for the upcoming school year.
For the first time ever, Murfreesboro now has 3 cultural arts laureates. I spoke with all 3 of the new laureates to learn more about them, their talents, and how they plan to inspire the residents of Murfreesboro.
Art was very accessible in my household. My dad and my sister were painters, so I was exposed to art early and it was encouraged when I was a child, but I never really found my medium until I took photography in college. I really want to bring art awareness and access to art to kids in the area, specifically underserved kids who may not have the same access and resources as others. And I really want to give them specifically photography, but generally art as a tool of expression and communication, because I feel that those can be so beneficial to kids. If they have those tools of expression, it can get them through difficult times. Childhood is difficult, and art helped me, and I'd really like to be able to help others have that same outlet.
Well, I've been an artist all my life. I went to MTSU and graduated in Mass Comm and have a minor in sculpture. I'm a sculptural painter. It is reminiscent of a frieze. Basically, it is a relief sculpture that protrudes from a wall. And it's also similar to impasto. And impasto is the thick application of paint. So with sculptural painting, you apply a modeling paste with either clay tools, palette knife, dental tools, cake decorating tools, all kinds of stuff, and you apply it to the canvas. Then after, apply impasto style the paint. And it's a very thick, textural, dynamic, you want to touch it. I feel like it's a privilege, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be involved in igniting the creative community.
I am excited for me to be recognized, of course, as a poet here in our community, but I'm more excited for the city to be taking another step forward for our art scene. For me, my mom, who's also a writer, she had me writing little stories and poems from the time I was very young. The arts also mean so much to our vibrancy as a city. Poetry is this very living thing right here in our community. I'm one of many poets. You know, we've been gathering monthly at an event called Poetry in the Borough for a year now. We have featured poets, we have an open mic time, and there are all these people who are practicing this method of creativity on a daily, weekly basis. A lot of people think they don't like poetry, but my goal would be that in our community, there would be people who maybe experience poetry for the first time and realize that it's something that their friend or neighbor is enjoying, is practicing, and they can experience that. And maybe in these very uncivil times, poetry is a way to connect, maybe to empathize, to see someone else's point of view. And so maybe people who have never thought they liked poetry will give it a try.
In other news, St. Clair Street Senior Center recently held their grand reopening. Photographer Jim Davis was there to get a first-hand look inside the new facility. Along with the new renovation, St. Clair now has even more options for seniors. There will be lots of new free fitness classes and educational programs, new hours on Saturdays from 10 to 2, and travel programs that offer day trips, national trips, and even international trips. You can learn more by calling the St. Clair Street Senior Center at 615-848-2550. The total eclipse will be making its way to Middle Tennessee on August 21st. There are many places you can gather to view the eclipse. MTSU will be hosting an official NASA community event and observing party from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Siegel Park in North Murfreesboro is also hosting an event, and viewing glasses will be provided. Linebaugh Library will be hosting a viewing party on the Civic Plaza and will begin distributing glasses around 12:45. The eclipse is expected to begin around 1:30 p.m. Also, all Rutherford County schools and Murfreesboro City schools will be open on August 21st. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City, but before we go, we wanted to give a shout out to one of our loyal viewers, Dick Baines. Thanks for watching, Dick. And if you watch our show, let us know and we might give you a shout out next. As always, for more information about the City of Murfreesboro, you can always visit our website at murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see one of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can always visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. Before we go, Uncle Dave Macon Days is one of the biggest events in Murfreesboro. Each year, people come from all around the country and even from around the world to experience old-time music. CityTV producer Steve Burris went to check out all the sights and sounds. I'm Cecilia Herrell, and until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.